In the last lesson, I was talking about how it is important when we look back at the Europeans and also the Americans when they're engaging in colonization and imperialism. It's important for us not to just say, "Oh, well, these were just terrible people," and then in the back of our minds think, "And I'm not a terrible person, so I would never do this." And I think it's important to be careful about these things because whole, almost entire societies could support these efforts. And even those who criticized maybe don't even live up these efforts of colonization, imperialism, and these rather terrible things that happened. Even though some people at the time maybe criticize them, they don't even, sometimes from our perspective, criticize them enough. And we shouldn't look at this and feel that, oh, we're superior. We should look at this and say, well, we need to be careful that we don't do the same thing. And that means I think that we need to be careful, in a large part, how we see the world and also how we consume popular culture. Because oftentimes I would argue that historically these ideas are encapsulated into various forms of popular culture, and they can affect our minds and our understanding of the world without us even realizing them. And one example of this is the cartoon character Babar. You may have, like me, grown up watching Babar. Usually when I ask students how many people have heard of Babar, usually about half the students have heard of him. And believe it or not, Babar has some connection to this. So I want to tell the story of Babar as found in the first book written about him. And this may seem a little odd, but please bear with me. I do have a point. So once upon a time in Africa, there was a mother elephant and her baby, who she named Babar, who she loved very much. One day, though, a hunter came and shot and killed Babar's mother. And as you can see, Babar was very, very sad. And he was, however, very frightened by this hunter who also wanted to shoot him. So Babar also ran away. And Babar ran and he ran and he ran and he ran. And eventually he left the jungle and he came to a city. In the city, he met a nice old lady who gave him money and told him that he should buy what he needed with it. So he took the money and went shopping. After Babar bought some nice clothes, he went and had his picture taken. And I just want to notice, you'll see that whereas before Babar would stand on all fours like an elephant, now he's sitting in a chair like a person. Apparently the old woman had a lot of money in that wallet because Babar was also able to buy a car and drive around in it. And that's Babar and his family and the old woman all together. Notice that they're all nice and civilized, as well as their little monkey friend. And over time, the rest of the elephants will become civilized, they will be given clothes and jobs, and they will live together in the jungle, happy as can be, except for their struggles with the evil rhinoceroses. Babar had been gone for a very, very long time, and his friends and family became worried about him. And two of his little elephant friends ran away from the herd to come looking for him. And they found him in this city in the middle of Africa. And by the way, you'll notice that Babar is standing upright while his little friends are running on all fours. They are, of course, very excited to see Babar, but the first thing that Babar wants to do is to hurry off with them and to buy them some fine clothes. And they go ahead and do that. And there you can see at the bottom how they do indeed buy some fine clothes. And that's not the only part of advanced civilization they enjoy. Babar takes them to the pastry shop and they eat some good cakes. By the way, if you ever go to the pastry shop, make sure you order the good cakes. Don't order the bad cakes. I just want to make that clear. Now, eventually, the mothers of Babar's little friends become concerned and start going after to find them. And they also find their way to the city. And you can see they're very upset with their children, not for becoming civilized by wearing clothes and staying upright, but because they ran away without permission. Babar now realizes that he needs to go back to his home in the jungle. And so he gets his car packed up and says goodbye to the old lady and thanks her for all her kindness. But that very day that Babar begins to leave, the king of the elephants ate a bad mushroom and he turned green. And of course, turning green, you may not know, but turning green is actually fatal. So he's going to die. After he dies, Babar and his family or his friends arrive back in their village and very loudly proclaim their presence by driving around in the jungle. And Arthur's in the back there with his horn that says honk honk. Upon learning of the death of the king, Babar, takes off his hat and throws it down in despair. And Cornelius, the advisor to the old king, tells Babar, well, you're civilized. You're going to be our new king. Babar then is crowned, and he appoints Cornelius to be his advisor. And you can see now Cornelius is wearing Babar's hat. And now Babar and Celeste, the girl that was with him previously, his friend, they're going to marry. And they will become king and queen over all the elephants. And that's Babar and his family and the old woman all together. Notice that they're all nice and civilized, as well as their little monkey friend. And over time, the rest of the elephants will become civilized. They will be given clothes and jobs, and they will live together in the jungle, happy as can be, except for their struggles with the evil rhinoceroses.